Welcome back to Tyreek Talk. Today, I'm on the Upper East Side in New York City at White Cube, stepping into an exhibition by Sylvia Snowden, an artist whose work feels deeply emotional, physical, and intensely human. White Cube is a gallery known globally for its clean, minimal, almost architectural spaces. It's a place where the presentation is precise, controlled, and stripped back, allowing the work to fully command the room. And here, that contrast is powerful because Snowden's paintings are anything but quiet. They are raw, textured, and filled with movement. Sylvia Snowden has spent over 6 decades developing a visual language that sits somewhere between figuration and abstraction. She describes her approach as structural abstract expressionism, and you can feel that immediately. Her paintings are built through thick layers of acrylic paint and oil pastel, creating surfaces that feel almost sculptural. The figures in her work are distorted, elongated, and sometimes difficult to fully grasp. They exist right at the edge of recognition. You can see the human form, but it's stretched, twisted, and pulled apart in ways that express something deeper than physical appearance. Her work isn't about likeness, it's about emotion. And that's really the core of her practice. Snowden has said, "The subject matter of my painting is the human being, period." There's no reliance on clear identity markers or explicit narratives. Instead, she focuses on the internal, on the psychological and emotional states that define our experience. One of the key bodies of work in this exhibition comes from her M Street series, created between 1978 and 1997. These paintings are named after individuals from her community in Shaw, Washington, D.C., where she has lived and worked for decades. They were created during a time of significant political and social tension in the United States, and while the work doesn't directly depict those events, you can feel their weight. The surfaces are heavy, layered with thick impasto that almost seems to press the figures down. Some bodies appear stretched across the canvas, their limbs elongated, their forms flattened. There's a sense of gravity, of pressure, of something being carried, and yet at the same time there's movement. The brush strokes are energetic, almost alive. The figures feel like they're pushing outward, trying to break free from the constraints of the surface. Snowden herself has described this idea of figures reaching out, meeting the viewer, pushing beyond the limits of the canvas. There's a tension here, between weight and release, between struggle and resilience. The paintings hold both at once. You can also see how Snowden's work is connected to a broader history of expressionism. There are echoes of artists like Chaim Soutine and Ernst Ludwig Kirchner in the way she distorts form and uses color. But her work is also deeply rooted in her own lived experience and community, particularly in the way she brings visibility to individuals who might otherwise go unseen. Her figures don't feel like portraits in the traditional sense. They feel more like emotional presences, embodiments of vulnerability, endurance, and humanity. And in the context of White Cube, that presence becomes even more striking. The gallery's clean, open space creates room for these works to fully expand. There's nothing to distract you. You're face to face with the painting, with the figure, with the emotion. As you move through the exhibition, it feels less like looking at individual works and more like encountering a series of human experiences, each one layered, complex, and unresolved. Sylvia Snowden's paintings remind us that the human condition isn't something that can be neatly defined. It's something that's felt through tension, through movement, through contradiction. And here at White Cube, that feeling is undeniable.